A young Ghanaian graduate landing their first job often dreams of moving out of their parents' home to start an independent life. But the reality of finding suitable accommodation can be daunting. Unreliable middlemen, inflated prices, and endless trips across the city to view a single property makes the process stressful and inefficient. In this episode, I sit with Joseph Simms Mensah, a forward-thinking entrepreneur who identified this gap in the housing market and created OpenProp, a unified platform that connects buyers directly to sellers while transforming the property search experience. With innovative features like secure, high-quality virtual tours, OpenProp allows clients to explore properties from anywhere, ensuring that what they see online truly matches what exists in person. Enjoy this episode. Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to the Tech Stuff Podcast where we navigate today's tech wave one electrifying conversation at a time. I am your host, Raymond Klutse, and today I have with me Joseph. Joseph is a serial entrepreneur, I like to call him. He has built Razor Labs and currently he is building something interesting in a rising area in tech, which is property tech. I'm sure people are listening and wondering what is property tech. I am curious myself. And I know we have an expert here who is not just, an expert in terms of the theory, but is also an expert in terms of building something live. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Joseph Simms Mensah. So Joseph, thank you so much for making time today.
Yeah, you're welcome, Raymond.
All
Always.
all right, great. So if you can, in the shortest amount of time, give us a quick intro. Who are you? Where have you been? What have you been doing? A quick intro to get to know a bit about your journey, and then we can get deep into the conversation. Yeah.
So like you mentioned, my name is Joseph Simms Mensah. So I'm currently based in Seattle, but I usually move between Accra and Seattle because of this prop tech
Mm,
and startup that I'm building. But primarily, what my focus on now is OpenProp.
mm.
I've been building that for almost a year and 6 months now. Yeah, so that's primarily me, what I've been doing for the past 2 years. But in terms of getting into tech, man, close to a decade now.
Right, right. If you can, walk us through your tech journey, before we come into you being an entrepreneur, a techpreneur. What has tech been like for you? Were you in a tech field or did you go down a traditional tech route or you pivoted along the way? Yeah, out of curiosity.
Yeah. So my journey to tech was through data science, data analytics, right? So my bachelor's I did actuarial science, so it was like super heavy on math. Then for my master's, I got into data analytics and data science. So with that, kind of brought the idea of how I'll be able to use the tech to build something, right?
Mm.
So out of curiosity, started looking into software development, UI, UX, and yeah, and that led me to tech.
Interesting one. One
So
one will assume, when I first heard about science, I know a bit about it in terms of, risk management and all of that.
mhm.
And everyone knows that companies are always looking at minimizing their risk as much as possible. And I know most of the time banks, financial institutions, that's like a gold mine. One will assume to become an actuary, become a professional, and get to touch the big accounts. That was like a clear path. I'm wondering why all of a sudden you choose to leave actuarial science and become a techie. I'm
Yeah.
curious. Did you just do actuarial science because that's what you got in uni? Your parents forced
Yes,
you? I'm just curious.
yeah. I think it was just like a formality, I'll be honest. Even when I was in school, I
Mm,
was still doing business, right? The goal wasn't actually to get into tech.
mm,
The goal was to build something,
mm. All
honestly,
right.
right? So actuarial science was a formality. I got into it because I like math.
Mm,
Then I realized that it wasn't for me,
mm,
right? So after my bachelor's, I got more into the data science, data analytics, statistics. Did that for my master's. Then I saw that that could be a good for a 9 to 5,
Mm,
right? Sit behind the computer, crunch your numbers, and you're good to go. But that wasn't for me,
mm,
right?
indeed.
So I had to solve problems. I'm someone that is very curious, so that sparked my interest into software development. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay. So I know you said you went on to do, your master's,
Hmm.
statistics. So one will call you a geek or, a math genius. What do you think, like, sparked that interest, for this whole analytics space? Was it like
Yeah.
a mentor, an event you went to that, made everything?
Yeah, so Churro and statistics, data science, I would say I'm not gonna say it's super related, but like it's in the same field of like math, right?
Mm,
The
right.
basis math.
Right.
So I didn't want to get into insurance. I didn't want to get into that actuary. I mean, I took the exams, but it wasn't something that was for me.
Mm,
So a different route that I could use the math was statistics, right? Data science, data analytics.
mm,
I tried it. I enjoyed it a bit more than that churro. Then yeah, I think the curiosity in terms of data analytics, data science, because you are mining data, you are building analytics from raw data and stuff like
right.
that. So it kind of sparked that interest in me with the curiosity,
Mm.
right? And that led to where I'm at right now.
Nice, nice. So entrepreneurship, before we come to OpenProp, which is your recent baby, I'm sure you've had bits and bobs. You've done a bit of everything. Just walk
Hmm.
us through, like in a minute or two, some of like the companies you built. I know alone about, I just know about Razor Labs, but you walk us
Hmm.
through some of the things you have built, the ones that took flight, the ones that were just MVPs that were like that are still on the shelf, and the others that took flight like Razor Lab. Yeah.
Yeah. So my first business was was a simple buying and selling, right? Kind of buying goods and going selling it, phones, accessories, and stuff
Mm,
like that.
right.
So that kind of ushered me into entrepreneurship. When it comes to actually sitting down thinking about an idea, usually my ideas comes in a way where when I see a problem,
Mm,
I'm able to see, okay, there's a problem A. What can I do to fix or bring a solution to the problem A?
right.
So that led into um, building an e-commerce platform,
Mm,
right? Just based on the buying and selling that I was doing. My first idea that actually materialized was called Best Price 360, and this happened right after uni, getting to my master's. It was more like buying and selling of phone accessories. That's when Shopify was like, this was like 7 years ago, something like that. This was like e-commerce Shopify thing was like actually gaining traction. So I did that. Um, After that, that didn't work out. Obviously, I would have been doing it now. I saw that I was in for the wrong reasons.
mm,
I wanted something quick, like,
mm,
but that's not how business works. So after that, I went into a different sort of business, which was more or less like a third party where you can book flights, accommodation, literally. That's when the whole, at some point, everything on Instagram was about flights,
right.
traveling,
Right.
going,
True.
yeah, yeah. So I had this third party company that I built for to help people travel, buy ticket sales, for flights. Um, yeah, so I did that for a while, for like 6 months. And I'm like, nah, I don't think that's for me. It
Right.
failed. Yeah, then I think that at that point, I was beginning to understand how business operates
Right.
in terms of what people want and what people need.
Right.
So during that time, I was experimenting, thinking about ways that I'll be able to learn tech in terms of software development and UI UX,
Right.
and that's what birthed Razor Labs.
Mm,
So with Razor Labs was an agency helping people. Actually, before helping people, I had to put out prototypes using Razor Labs, right? So building things for people for free, right? Apps, websites, and whatnot. Then I started pulling people in to help me with it. Then that began Razor Labs. So with Razor Labs, right currently right now, we are running right now. We are more zoning on. I think 80% of our work now is more AI. So now we're more AI powered team as a service.
Mm,
So we work with AI to build solutions for companies. And with that, we build OpenProp out of that. So that has
nice.
been the journey.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, so OpenProp. When I saw OpenProp, I think you sent it to me telling me that you were starting something new. I was like, okay, Joseph is at it again. He's on something else. And I was curious, but then I looked at the problem and I was like, wow, we've all been in Ghana for a longest time. I was telling a friend of mine today that I have this conversation with you, and I asked him, have you ever tried, getting a place to rent? And he was like, no, because we all grew up and stayed in our parents' houses, right? And when you try and find out, like, how did your parents find the place that they are renting? And it's like, most likely they probably just knew the landlord's number or someone connected into someone. It's always word to mouth, right? And we live in this part of the world where for example, in Scotland alone, there's about 8 million people, and the UK, it goes further. You tend to now realize that how much can a landlord take? And I realized that so he's niched down, he's solving a problem tailored to Ghana. I'm not going to spill the beans. I'll let you tell us about OpenProp. What is property tech? What led you there? Was it like one of your trips to Ghana where you were trying to enter the property market and it's like, oh, okay, what's going on here? I'll let you just,
Mhm.
tell us more about it. Yeah.
So I think I will start with the journey in terms of how OpenProp started. So in 2020, I was going to Ghana. I usually do, but this time around, I didn't want to stay with family. I just wanted to find a place of my own.
Right.
And I was looking, and I wasn't finding enough information.
Right.
That's just basically it. You will find pictures that are not the property itself, or you might not even find the contact to the person
Mm,
who listed the property. And even if you find the property, you're not gonna have enough pictures to tell you that okay,
mm,
this is how the room looks like, and this is what I'm expecting, right? So I searched, I couldn't find it,
mm,
so I went back home, and I was like, definitely people are also looking like what I did, right? So why don't you build something that people can also visit, see the place, and have enough information about the property.
mm,
So look at it from this perspective. When I was thinking about this, I was looking at diasporans, right? People that are here that are looking.
mm,
But when I took a step back and I'm like, literally, this is something that is a day-to-day problem for everyone.
mhm,
So that's how OpenProp started.
Interesting. Interesting.
So I started putting out the property out there, and people just come on there to come and see what we have. I mean, currently there are people that have prop tech, I think, on the market now. But ours, what we wanted to bring was to bring transparency. The quality in terms of what you will see on the platform is
Mm,
what you will get,
mm,
right? So that's how OpenProp started. If you ask me, in
mm,
2021,
mm,
we I set an idea, spoke to a few people, kind of figure out ways to build that. So it wasn't just me.
mm,
I have a team.
mm,
Yes. So that's how OpenProp came to be.
mm.
If you ask me what prop tech is, basically using technology to solve real estate problem
Mm,
at large.
mm. And I'm glad you brought real estate problems at large. What are the real estate problems that you're talking about? Because when I think about Ghana at the moment, it seems like you said, the market or the real estate market tends to be tailored to diasporans,
Hmm.
all our people from the diaspora, because
Yeah.
they are coming with more cash. They are coming with the class, because we're a bit of like a classist society. I mean, classism is everywhere, but Ghana tends to, make it very ostentatious. And with all those problems, the average person in Ghana, when they're looking for their first place to move out, it's not like you and me who gets a chance to move into like a studio or like a flat. in a decent area. I may not be up there, but you have your own bathroom, toilet, that basic stuff you need in a very decent looking neighborhood. But that's it's not the same case in Ghana. People are looking to be in a community, house, or even live with their parents until they get married and then they move out. So I'm wondering, like when you say faith, like using tech to solve the problems in Ghana, if you can, mention some of the problems that you have seen so far and how your product has positioned itself to solve those problems.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems,
Mm.
right? The challenges that we face here in the States or West is super different. It's a lot of difference. One of the issues, one of the problems that we have in Ghana right now is the affordable housing. There's flashy properties everywhere, but where's the affordable ones? One of the things that my company, right, OpenProp, what we are doing right now
Right.
is we are not just focused on the luxury.
Mm.
Our prices swing all the way to 350 cities.
Mm. In fact, it was surprising. I won't lie to you because when people saw it, they were like, "Oh, it's a sham. It's not possible. You can't rent a place in Ghana for 3." Because the Ghana I know, you're talking about 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
deposit and all of that. But then
Yeah,
you're doing
yeah.
it. So, but yeah, you keep going. I was just
So
wondering.
350 cities all the way. Of course, we still have the luxury ones there, but 350 cities, and that's the one problem: affordable housing. Two, advance. Like I talk to renters every single day, so this issue is known. I don't know how the government is going to help, but that's not where my energy is. My energy is what I can do on my personal level, what my team can do to solve this. That's what we're doing OpenProp. So
Mm.
two is the advance. So the landlord's argument is, why do I want to build this house and give it to you for 1 year or for 6 months? But there's been the education that us what we're doing is that even with the landlords, we talk to them like, hey, I know you want 2 years, but you can cut it back to 1 year. And historically, right, I think in the 50s, I could be wrong, but Ghana used to pay rent monthly.
Mm.
Yeah, Ghana used to, but I think inflation, all this kind of stuff set in, and landlords started asking for bulk money deposit like 2 years advance and whatnot.
Mm.
So affordability will be one, the advance payment, right? And three, the middleman, which is the
Mm.
agent.
The
So,
middle.
and these are people too you cannot do without because they know the system, the underground. We work with agents all the time.
Right.
Our platform is actually open. Landlords can list, agents can
Mm.
list,
Right.
right? So with the agents, it's more about the viewing fees, right? Some people, so for example, if I want a property at La Paz and I'm talking to an agent there, the agent have to charge me 150 CDs or sometimes even 200 CDs to go see the property,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And let's say within a week, I look at maybe 5 properties, multiply that by 150, 200.
Mm.
How many people can afford that? I mean, by the end of the week, your salary is probably gone, right?
Mm.
So I think that's one of the issues too as well. Um, but in terms of how we are solving this problem of availability, which is the
Mm.
first point, is we swing our prices. We are not so focused on the high end ones because 80% of the people can't afford that. So mostly our focus is
Mm.
the sweet parts, right? So somewhere, so it depends on location by location. If someone is looking for shadow for maybe a 1 bedroom or a chamber and hall,
Mm.
you should be looking somewhere 2,000 Ghana cities, right? 1,005 chamber and hall or 2,000. If the price is below 1,005, you should be looking at 2 years advance.
Mm.
If it's above 1,005, likely you can get 1 year.
Mm. Mm.
You know,
Mm.
and landlords are making their own prices, so you can go there and be like, hey, change the price like 600. That's an issue too, right? So there's different levels of issues when it comes to the real estate in Ghana. These three, I would say, are the top ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to spit out 2 years of advance. So now we negotiating, we're talking to agents, we're talking to our landlords to cut it back to 1 year. If
Mm.
it's 6 months, great. 3 months, even better, right? So yes, so that's the issue with the advance, yeah, and how OpenProp is trying to also help with it. But the issue with real estate, I can go on and on and on when it comes to Ghana. Like I mentioned, the first three to you, which is the affordability, and there's more luxury around, and the second one would be the middleman. Okay, and also there's an issue of transparency in terms of some people post pictures online and it's not been verified. These are all like scam listings, right? So I've heard stories of people actually seeing the pictures and going on ground, and it's a whole different issue,
Right.
right? And also the viewing fees. I understand that the part of the viewing fees, but also I wish there could be a way where, and that's what we've done, right? The way is to use a virtual tour, right? That's what we comes in with the property tech. With OpenProp, we have a virtual tour where renters, buyers can go on there, view the property on their phone,
Is it
see
using
every
three?
detail.
Is it is it using the 3D technology, or is like a real
The,
video?
it's a 360 camera, yeah. It
Oh, okay.
knits the whole 360 space,
Right.
yes, and you're gonna see it. I mean, 3D looks like it's like a replica of that thing, but this one is real. It's like
Oh,
it
okay.
gives you the virtual tour, like a virtual reality.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. So let's come to a potential, like, first off, how people list. You understand me? I want to assume that the real estate market may be controlled by an older demographic who are not necessarily tech savvy, who are used to word of mouth, kind of, hey, I want to rent this property here, and they get a client, and that's how it is. I just want to know from your side how has it been like, getting people to sign on, like, as agents, as landlords, and even to incentivize people to use OpenProp as their go-to place to search for property, because change is very difficult and it's a behavioral change. Like, we are used to the way we do things, and to penetrate such a market is often a problem. But yes, I don't know. I'm just curious to see how you're getting people, especially in that older demographic who aren't necessarily tech savvy, to want to use OpenProp. How do you find your listers? Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. So with the listings, we have the landlords can list, the agents can list, and like you said, the older demographic definitely are the builders, right, who have the properties and stuff like that. But you'd be surprised that once. So let's focus on. Let's start with the landlords.
Right.
With the older population, what we basically do is that we can help you on board, right? And we've made our listing very simple, where you just start with a step one, where you just put information,
Right.
upload your photos, and you just kick it off and submit it,
Right.
right? It just works just like how the older population are on Facebook, right?
Oh, okay.
Right. So if maybe you have like a picture that you want to post on your phone, right? The
Right.
older population are mostly on Facebook. So we've sort of taken that sort of idea
Mm,
of how you can make it as simple, post your picture. That's just how you can list
mm,
your property, right? So we
right.
took that into consideration when
Mm,
we're building our listing process. Second would be for the agents. Mainly, okay, it also comprise of the older population, but also the young people, right? So they are on TikTok. You know how to list. You know how to post your pictures on TikTok,
mm,
Instagram. It's the
mm,
same thing, but this time you just listing your property. That's
right.
literally it, right? So that's how we bring people in. But listing is free. We don't
Mm.
charge you to list,
Oh, okay.
right? So that's one of the things that we offer for our listers. Listing is free. You can list as many as you want, and we also have a feature called Hot Request. It works like a social media platform like Twitter or X or Instagram, where you go on there, you see the client request, people searching for apartment at maybe Dansoman for 500 cities. You see everything there. Then you can respond to those each hot request or the
Mm,
client request that you've gotten.
mm,
So that also drives the conversation that, okay, now it's not just a marketplace. right? You
It's
can
more like
go
a
on there,
social media
tell me your
platform for,
phone,
but for the real
register
estate.
states, yeah. So now you can go
Nice.
on there and see the requests that people are offering, and you can respond to it, and start the conversation from there.
If we can go into a few numbers, how many people do you currently have on your platform? What does the
So
growth look like over a period of
it's
time?
yeah. So now we have over 5,000 active users, right? In terms of listers, over 100.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, in terms of including agents and landlords. Is I mean, we're almost on our 2 year stretch,
Okay.
but we are not. It's something that is progressive overload, right?
Mm.
It's not just one time you just get all the numbers. It's been very, very, very tough, I
I
might
can
say.
ima- I can
Okay,
imagine. We'll
because
get we'll get into the details of some of
yeah,
the red tapes and the barriers that you had to endure.
sorry.
But yeah,
But
yeah.
that's how the numbers are looking right now. Now the traction is there now, so we're trying to build on top of it,
Mm,
making sure that we are on top of our customer service, making sure that even if you get there and you're not renting a home or not buying a home or looking for a short stay, we also help you move. We also help you clean your apartment, right? So we provide all these additional services. So it's like a one-stop place where you can get all your home needs, right? So
so let's talk about what the campaign for making OpenProp known is currently like. How are you making noise about OpenProp? I know social media is a powerful tool, but there are some people who, or even the kind of platform you're making the noise on,
yeah,
could inform how people would want to be on a platform. Because I also know that with the current rise of cybersecurity and everything, and with a platform like that, where if listing is free, people could be like, okay, but how am I sure that what I'm seeing is a real deal? Blah blah blah. It's two questions in one. First off, how are you publicizing OpenProp? And the next question is on the back of that, how are you, ensuring that people have some form of, trust and credibility in the postings they are seeing, given that anyone can just go on there. Is there like some kind of like, screening behind the scenes that verifies the user and all that kind of stuff? Maybe you take some personal data, passport, like the way the UK or like the US or other places do it. I'm just curious how both are working together. Yeah.
yeah. I like this question. So let me tackle the first one. In terms of how we publicizing this. So we're very active on social media in terms of getting more people in, spreading out the word. Personally, I believe that it's better to have 2 or 10 customers who love your product
Mm,
than have like 100 customers.
right.
All right. So those ten people that love your product are going to do the word for you.
Oh, okay. So they
So
become your
my
evangelist.
so my goal when it comes to making people known, or one of the things that my focus is on, is having a great customer service,
Mm,
right? Making sure that people's questions are answered, and making sure that the customer feels that, okay, when I came to OpenProp, right, looking for a property, I I got the best experience that I could have. And what does that experience entail, right?
right.
Customer service, making sure that you provide, go above and beyond just listing, right? And that's what we are doing the moving, that's what we are doing the cleaning service too as well.
Mm,
So, and the virtual tour service that we also provide. I think that's a good way, in my opinion, and that's what we are doing. We've had a lot of word of mouth, true organic growth, where people are recommending us to people, right? So that's our number one sure way of going about it.
mm,
Aside our social media presence and,
mm,
and doing our own marketing, I believe that the people are the real evangelists when it comes to selling your product.
mm,
Just honing on what they want. If you visit OpenProp like if you visit OpenProp like 6 months ago, you will not see what you see now because we are customer driven to the point where we take feedback. So all these features that we are adding are things that we think people need
mm,
based on the conversation that we've had with them.
right.
Right.
Mm,
So that's what I think for the first question. For the second question, trust, integrity, very, I think is a priority
Mm,
because with the system where it's not regulated,
mm,
real estate in Ghana is not regulated as we think
mm,
it is.
mm.
It's not at all. That's why people are setting prices on their homes the way they like. People are setting prices in dollars. Just yes. So I just don't want to get into that because it's
Right,
very frustrating,
right.
right? So when it comes to our properties being verified, yes, nobody can just go on there and just list a property. Once you list, we need to get your legal documentation, know that you are Raymond, and you will say you are who you are,
Mm.
right? So because I had this issue where 3 months of launching this, we opened it, people were posting kente and all sort of things that it was not supposed to be there.
Right, right,
So I was like, no, you're not about to do this,
right.
right? So we need to make sure that we tighten up our listing process and what people
Mm,
see, and make
mm.
sure that we clean it and it's not just anything just don't come through. It's verified.
And I think you are right, because I'm currently working on like a similar project, not a similar project, but a project that has to do, crowdsourcing information
Hmm.
and then it being listed on a platform. And a very simple, search engine of a sort. And the part that has been very keen to me is how do I prevent this website from being flagged one way or the other, either through maybe explicit content or defamatory or anything that could just go on a tangent. And as much as like the platform is just a very simple thing, the back end is what like I'm currently musing on a lot, and I'm thinking about, okay, how do I engage? So I'm in an era in my life where, Joseph, if I can outsource someone's knowledge to consult and help me do the thing, I'm doing that. If someone is an AI engineer who I can speak to quickly to see how I can inject AI into this, I'm doing that. I'm not going to. I can ask ChatGPT and get a few ideas, but I'm not going to spend my entire life trying to build things from the ground up because, like as entrepreneurs, right? I have a business currently running, and as entrepreneurs, you realize that spending time, ideating and getting an idea moving forward, and then the building. If you have the chance to put an MVP together, it's great. But if you're going to spend time, having to now go and learn TypeScript and C sharp, and no. I think I'm moving away from that. That's one of the things that has been very, very, you know, like key to me in terms of putting such a platform out there. Because you could start out with a great idea, but then not so great people using it, and then they could just spoil the brand, and you just go like, "Oh, but my idea was great, but yeah, execution might just were not tightened," and then you open it to all forms of people. I'm really glad you are doing that. You've tightened the behind the scenes, and I hope it's going to get tighter so that the credibility of your brand, as I believe, it keeps increasing. Will stay up to that standard. I want to dive into a potential competitor. We have Airbnb in Ghana, which is doing a different kind of real estate renting, or in a different kind of in the same market but different approach to the same thing. How do you feel as a company that could potentially be rubbing shoulders with Airbnb, who could potentially be building this behind the scenes, and one
Hmm.
day just release part of their website, giving the companies worldwide, notoriety, everything? How do you feel about that? Building when there's like a huge competitor already in the Ghanaian market.
Yeah, I think the problem with real estate is too big that we need more people. Honestly speaking, there should be more competitors
Mm,
because the problem is huge. You'd be surprised that if you pick 10 Ghanaians, 8 of them are currently looking for where to live,
mm,
right? And these 8 people are looking for homes that are affordable, right? The homes are there, but
right.
the ones that are there are not within their budget, right? So we need more ideas on way we'll be able to solve these problems. When it comes to competitors and stuff like that, they are great.
Mm,
For me, my focus is literally on how to solve this basic problem of how we can bring landlord agents um, and the renters or buyers
mm,
together on one platform
mm,
because the space is so fragmented,
mm,
right? So with the competition coming in, we actually need more competition. Actually, we need more startups to build and solve real estate problems,
Mm, mm,
not just the high end problems,
mm,
but
mm,
affordable ones,
mm,
right?
mm,
Giving people the full experience that it will cost like thousands of dollars to get, right? Virtual tour, quote unquote, is more luxury.
mm,
But trust me, we have virtual tour at a listing in Santa Maria, Kwashiman right now,
that's nice. That's nice.
right? Someone sitting in his home right now, somewhere in Kumasi, can take a virtual tour. If they are moving to Accra, can take a virtual tour of one of our properties at Botwe.
Mm,
Regardless, we are still open to the B2B. We
mm,
actually work with like the businesses, right? We
mm,
recently just did a project with Accra Luxury Signature in Accra, right?
mm,
Where we gave them a virtual tour for their properties, right? So we also consult for other businesses too as well, but also we also work with individuals too as well,
mm,
right? So is our goal eventually is not just to list the high end ones or to list the low end ones. Have
mm,
a bandwidth for everyone
mm,
to be able to come on there
mm,
and have their own experience and
mm,
enjoy the fact that okay, I was looking for a property. Guess what? I was able to at least save 200 cities out of this. Looking through the sun to try to find homes and stuff like that. I was able to use a virtual tour to actually see the property, and within a week, I was able to find a place. Guess what? After finding the place, these people also helped me to move from my current location to my new location. And not just that, they were able to also clean the place for me. All I have to do is just move in my things and enjoy the space with my family. How bad or how hard it is for a regular Ghanaian to want this? I think it's something that everyone should have.
mm,
Do you understand? So that's what OpenProp is doing. It's not just okay a marketplace. Come on there, look for property, but we want to take you through the whole journey
mm,
to have a full experience of
mm.
okay searching for a home and now I'm in my home. Right.
I like the vision. Let's talk about a few success stories since having started, 2 years ago. What has it been like? What has been like your best success stories, either from agents, from landlord, from
Mm-hmm.
just tell me a few success stories, one or two. Yeah.
Yeah. So a few success story. I think 6 months ago we helped a newly married couple, right? Who were moving from Kumasi to Accra. So now they are married in Kumasi. They are looking for a property in Accra because their husband just found a property on our listing site around Chado, right? So they're in Kumasi. Do they have to travel all the way to Accra
Mm,
and come and see this home and go back? No. They took the virtual tour, saw the home, the outside, and everything. Okay, I like this. Let me reach out to the agent. Let me reach out to the lister. So we make sure that that journey that had to take like 4 hours, maybe traveling by road to
mm,
Kumasi to Accra or a flight 25 minutes, we've
mm,
cut that short within like 5 minutes, right? So I think all being done, they got the place, do virtual tour, move the family from Kumasi to Accra.
mm.
We helped them move, we helped them clean. This was 6 months ago, and we helped them set them up.
Wow.
So just that alone, right? The impact that we've had in our small way was a great success story for me personally, right? And I speak for my team too as well. So that's one of the success stories that we've had. Um, I think I think it's relative when it comes to success story, but I look at it from this perspective. Are your customers happy with the service that you're providing? Right? That's the real success story in
Mm,
my eyes. No, maybe you getting funding for like 50 million or no, I really don't care much about that. My focus is okay, did the customer really enjoy the experience when they had opportunity to
mm,
see your website or get help from you,
mm.
right? So that's one of the biggest success story that um yeah, and yeah, it's been good so far. That it's been rewarding, I would say.
Hmm. Nice one, nice one. You dropped something in there, and I want to pick up from there in terms of like the goals for OpenProp? Are
Mm.
we looking at going to YC soon? What are some of like what's the vision so far for like a company
Um,
like yours?
yeah, so the vision is really just specifically honing on the issue, the real estate problem, because I personally don't want to lose sight of the main goal, right? And
Mm,
of course, chasing the funding and stuff like that is great, but at this point, we are not in the place yet. Of course, we are open for all that conversations, but now I think the issue is bigger than just going after money. Of course, you need money to build it,
mm.
right? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, here we're just running this stuff
On
on maybe
vibes.
like on vibes, right? No, 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 no. We're running this on money, right?
Right.
But I just feel like the real estate problem, the housing problem, is so big that we right now our focus is just to build and just meet up with the demand
Mm,
that we have coming in, right? What I mean by demand, the customers coming on, they're finding their homes within the budgets that they want, right? Offering services that will make life more convenient when it comes to searching for properties in Ghana.
mm.
Do you understand? So that's where our focus is right now. Of course, it can change within the future, but I think now we're just doing our own dance with the customers, with the landlords, with the agents, and that's where our focus is right now.
Nice. I'm going to throw a question at you, a personal
Mm-hmm.
question.
Right.
And I may sound as a therapist, but it's not my intention. What have you learned about yourself, during this period of Open Pro, in the last 2 years plus of building this product, outside of all the other kind of entrepreneurial adventures you've had, Open Prop specifically, if you could summarize it in like, three, maybe your top three things that you've learned about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a deep question. I think I've realized that I'm empathetic.
Okay.
Kind of see myself in other people's shoes, and that's where the convenience comes in, right? How I want people to enjoy their journey in terms of looking for properties. So I think overall, what I've learned about me building OpenProp is Joseph is empathetic. Yeah,
Mm, mm,
yeah. I kind of picture myself in other people's shoes,
mm,
and seeing how I would have gone about finding a property because I went through that, and I didn't really enjoy it, and I didn't
mm,
want other people to also go through it.
mm,
So I think empathy.
mm. Mm,
Yeah.
mm. And would you say that lesson is what like has seeped into other parts of your life? Empathy is like
Hmm.
it's become as part of your leadership arsenal, that you
Yeah.
lead with empathy, still
Yeah.
being assertive and all of that, or it's yeah.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, eh, I think the second part. I think I missed this one. Empathy, and I think the drive. I think if you are building, you should have a drive already. So I can't really say that I've learned that from building this. But I think the empathy one, um, consistency. You need to show up every single time, and that's what I've learned. You need to show up, whether you like it or not, and that also ties in with if you enjoy what you're doing.
Mm,
If you enjoy what you're doing, you're going to show up. I mean, sometimes it's hard, but you have to show up. Show up in terms of making sure that things are being done because the business don't run it on its own. You
mm,
need to run the business,
mm, mm,
right, on the day to day. So it has tied in into my day to day life, and being empathetic also helped me to sit back and ideate more and get more ideas,
mm,
right? Because that's where I can tap in and know that okay, if I'm searching for a home, and let's say I'm currently living at Kaswa,
mm,
and I found a home at Lakeside, what can I do
mm,
to more or less in my mind bring these locations closer,
mm,
closer in terms of how can I cut out the distance with our moving service, right? Which we partner with some amazing moving companies.
mm,
How can I use virtual tour to take a look at this property at Lakeside whilst I'm in Kaswa,
mm,
that I don't have to spend my money on transportation
mm,
and viewing fees, right? In my mind, I'm bringing these places closer based on these services that we are providing, right? Having enough information about the property, because we go all the way down to to the road condition, whether it's tarred or
Mm.
it's untarred. Yeah,
Oh
the
wow, and
landmarks,
then
the
okay,
availability of water, how frequent is it,
okay, and then
electricity.
you're not collecting the average kind of data.
No,
You are being unique in how
yeah,
you
yeah.
position yourself. Yeah.
So all this information kind of helps me, like in terms of like tapping into my empathetic self and whatnot. It kind of helps me to ideate a lot, right?
Mm.
Also, kind of feel what the customers are also feeling too, and
Right.
that's what helps me build.
All right. Right. That's great. That's great. We're about to conclude soon, and I just want to know if there are a few things that you think you would have done differently whilst you started building, OpenProp. I know I recently started I co-founded a company with a friend. We were running for it, like coach and mentor CIC. Probably seen it, and we've had events, different personalities coming together, that clashes, all that kind of stuff. Typical co-founder kind of stuff, and it's great. And there obviously there's some things that we obviously want to do better, but that initial entrepreneurial drive, that or that kick, I'm going to have my own company, I'm going to do that until some realities hit, and you just wish that maybe some things were said to you, or you could have done
Mm-hmm.
some things better. I don't know. In a few words, if there are a few things that you think you could have done better in building OpenPro, what would
Build
they
open
be?
pro.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, every day we're learning. There are a few things that on a day to day, because our challenge is day to day, right?
Mm,
So every day we are doing some mistakes here and there that we are learning,
mm,
in terms of improving our conversations with customers, in terms of making sure that our turnaround time for interacting with the landlords, or the agents, are being tightened up. We are currently looking forward to, which I think we would have done it earlier, in terms of having an in-person meetup with the agents, which we're about to do next month. All the listers that we have on our platforms, we are going to meet them, talk to them, train them, equip them on how they be able to deliver good service,
mm,
right, to the customers,
mm,
right? So I think that's something that we'll be doing very soon. But I think in all, right, the issues are every day.
mm,
Mistakes are happening every day. We are
mm,
learning.
mm,
So I think it would be very difficult to point out, okay, this was what I wish I could have, because I think tomorrow we might probably do a mistake that we'll have to correct. It's extremely hard to pinpoint one, but I think we are in the point where we know what we are doing now.
mm.
We know exactly the direction that we want to go,
Right.
and we're excited for the future and what it holds for real estate in Ghana, prop tech, and how we can, in our way, help out, shape out, and define our own story when it comes to this house hunting madness happening.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I want you in your final words to plug OpenProp. Give us your best pitch. Just sell
Man,
it, sell,
you put me on
sell.
the spot.
No, okay, not necessarily pitch as it, but just say something to us. What you want people to know about OpenProp. What's on your heart with your
Mhm.
empathy and everything. Just give
Yeah,
us a
yeah,
few
yeah.
words. Yeah.
So I would say OpenProp is a one-stop place when it comes to home search, right? We don't just list property for you, but also take you through the journey of finding a home. After finding a home, you need to also move. We can help you move, set you up, clean the place, and make sure that you have a whole 360 experience of, okay, you just didn't find a home, but you find a place where you can actually come back and look for other opportunities as well in terms of our services that we provide or even recommend us. I think that will also segue into what we are actually looking for next. We have a little secret that I would like to teaser out, but not yet. We are actually looking forward to we're actually looking forward to add some new services
Right.
to OpenProp that will definitely be a game changer too as well,
Mm,
with regards to what we've already done with the virtual tour moving service and cleaning services. But we are looking forward to add more services to it
mm,
as
mm.
well. So yeah.
Nice one, Joseph. Thank you so much. First and foremost, thank you for not being the expat or the American or the person who used to live in Ghana, left to the US, who's just detached from the continent or from the country. But you have an interest in building a country because it is still home for you, and for choosing to start OpenProp and trying to solve a huge problem. I'm excited whenever I see African entrepreneurs. I'm just excited to see how they're building things. And as one who is very Pan African, but even though I'm abroad, or obviously time will come when I have to go back home, it's nice to see how you are being very intentional about it, and the fact that you are leading with a value that I also treasure a lot. That's empathy. In a world today where being superficial and being just caught up in your own ways and in your high horses, and because one will say, I would just lift and shift Airbnb's code base and just come throw it in people's faces, and then I don't care. But you are thinking about the user experience, because I'm thinking about it when I was moving from my flat before I moved to where I am now. If I had something like OpenProp, my life would have been so easy because I had to look for the driver to come and take the boxes out to this place. I had to, a lot of things are happening, and to see that you are interjecting a lot of things, it's great. And you are giving, Ghanaian businesses a different feel. And I really pray that you have the best people around you who are going to take OpenProp to the next level. And maybe the next time we speak in somewhere next year, we'll be talking about some good funding you've received and you're about to start something at YC. I'm rooting for you, man.
Thank you, Raymond. Appreciate that.
Ghana's property market faces no shortage of challenges, yet the future looks promising thanks to innovative solutions like OpenProp. By combining technology, security, and customer-focused design, Joseph's platform is restoring confidence to individuals striving for independence and comfort. Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Texas Podcast. See you in the next episode.